Thank you. Let me thank my great colleague, Senator Salazar, for advancing this issue in our House. It's an important one, and of course, Assemblyman Ron Kim in the Assembly as well. There's been a lot of talk the last couple of weeks about corporate subsidies specific to the Amazon deal, and there are differences of opinion on all sides of this issue. But one thing that I think everyone can agree on is that the process that pitted cities and states against each other to acquire Amazon's good graces was flawed and should not be permitted. Now, there are people on all sides of the ideological spectrum in the last week that have said this, including Bill Gates, including Michael Bloomberg, including Paul Krugman. These are people that don't always agree, but they all can come together and realize that when giant corporations are dictating to cities and to states how much of their money they want to take because they're forcing them to compete, that is a flawed system. There is a reason that Europe as a continent bans these kinds of contests, and we should do the same in the United States. Now, unfortunately, the federal government, starting at the top, doesn't seem to be the right frame of mind for this, but we can do something at the state level to make sure that we band together and keep from participating in this kind of a process. The legislation we're advocating for today would allow New York to enter into an agreement with other states, a non-aggression pact, if you will, so that we would all mutually agree not to participate in these kinds of subsidy contests. And if that had happened in this case, we wouldn't be even talking about Amazon right now. Either they would come here without the subsidies, which is how these types of things should unfold, or not. But it wouldn't be by holding us over the barrel and insisting that they get $3 billion, $500 million of which would be in a straight cash grant. So I want to make that clear. That is money that we could use elsewhere very directly, and the remainder in the form of tax incentives. I want to congratulate my colleagues and thank all the advocates. This is a conversation that's long overdue, and if we can use the events of the last week to move the dialogue nationally in the direction it needs to go, then we will have accomplished a lot. Thank you.